Let's run it up. Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you. As always, no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day and hanging out here with me. Coming up here on the show, a lot of Niners injury news to get to with another training camp practice in the books and 1v1 battles highlighted training camp practice today. And one young player really stole the show, and he has been heating up over the last few practices. Earlier today, I did a separate show here on the 49ers Report. San Francisco, prior to hitting the practice field today, made a slew of roster moves. So we went through that, and it seems as though Jake Moody has won the Niners kicker job. I ranted about that, so be sure to check that video out. It's already up on the channel. As for some Niners injury news, let's begin there. These players did not practice today. Wide receiver Jauan Jennings out again with that lingering calf issue. More on him in a moment. Wide receiver Jacob Cowing hamstring, still going to be out for a couple of weeks. Running back Christian McCaffrey had a rest day. Really like the Niners' approach with him because they ran him into the ground in 2023. Part of that, due to him. Never wanted to come off the field, but last year, him playing only 4 games, bilateral Achilles tendonitis with that knee injury, and how important he is to this Niners offense, all factors for why they need to manage his workload. Running back Isaac Guerendo, going to be out for a little bit because of a shoulder issue. I'll expand on that coming up. Safety Jair Brown, ankle injury. Remember, he had that offseason cleanup procedure this offseason. Hopefully that's nothing long-term. Fullback Kyle Juszczyk got stepped on, so he's dealing with an Achilles injury. I wouldn't panic about that. Anytime anybody hears Achilles, it's like, oh no. But with Juice, it's not to that level. Defensive lineman Evan Anderson has a knee bruise. Defensive lineman Kevin Givens, a pec injury. Defensive lineman Sam Okuwanu, groin. Nick Bosa had a rest day. He was just feeling a little bit sore. So too did Trent Williams as part of the veteran rest days, just managing the workload for some of these players who are a little bit longer in the tooth. And then cornerback Renardo Green, he's still going to be out for a couple of weeks as well. Niners targeting that Raiders joint practice week and preseason week against Las Vegas as the return dates possibly for Green and Cowing, both coming off those hamstring ailments. As for what is going on with Jauan Jennings, is he hurt? Is he holding in because of his contract? Is he not hitting the practice field because he wants that new deal? Remember, Jauan Jennings reported to training camp. He practiced day one, made a couple of catches during his training camp debut, and he continued to practice for San Francisco, even though he made it vocal that he wants that new deal. Then he injured the calf that he injured all the way back in the springtime during mandatory minicamp, which forced him to miss time then. And so I know Jennings is looking for a new deal. He's going into the final year of his contract, and a lot of Niner fans think that maybe he isn't that hurt. And he's not practicing because he wants to make sure he gets that long-term financial commitment because he doesn't have a contract beyond this year. I actually think this injury is legit, and Jauan Jennings is actually hurt. The dude just loves ball, but right now he can't play ball because he's banged up. Isaac Guerendo with that shoulder injury, he is expected to miss a few weeks. This is a bummer for him. It's a bummer for this Niners offense. It's a bummer for this Niners running back room. Isaac Guerendo is a player who's incredibly unique. 6'2", 220 pounds. He runs a 4.3. He runs with power. He runs with getaway speed. And he is a player who's still raw and inexperienced. Throughout his entire college career, Wisconsin to Louisville, he started one college game. It came in his final college start. And so last year, we saw a little bit of that inexperience play out in real time on the field, in between the lines, during regular season games, where he would get better as he got more carries. Sometimes he would take the wrong hole. Sometimes he wouldn't have the right read, and he would make some mistakes in that manner. And sometimes for running backs, it's a very complex scheme in Kyle Shanahan's outside zone scheme for running backs to master. But as games wore on and as he got more opportunities, that's when he got better. And you saw the ability and the potential. He would run cats over, or in the case of that Seattle game, he would run away from defenders. He's an incredibly unique athlete. But I said this when the Niners drafted him. I've said this always about Isaac Guerendo. He has a long injury history. He's been banged up a lot. And so that is something that we need to continue to monitor because the ability is there, but Can he be impactful if he's always hurt? Obviously not. You know that saying, can't make the club from the tub. And hopefully Guerendo, who is RB2 on this roster right now, is able to get right with that shoulder, and he can live up to that ability because, man, you don't find a lot of cats who are 6'2", 220 running a 4.3. I remember seeing that at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, and I said, wow, that dude is a freak, and clearly the potential is there for him. Kyle Juszczyk, this sounds awful. Luckily, he is day-to-day, but the other day in practice, he had his Achilles stepped on and suffered a cut on his Achilles. So it's not like this is a strain or a sprain or a slight tear or anything to that severe nature. It's just banged up right now because he took a cleat to that Achilles. The Niners' lead fullback, and arguably the best fullback of all time, is expected to be back soon. More unfortunate injury news here. Defensive tackle Kevin Givens, who's a solid depth piece and is more of that specialty pass rushing interior defensive lineman, injured his pec. He's going to be out for a while. Luckily, it's not torn. When it's torn, players are out for the whole year. You think about a defensive lineman or any football player, right? But especially for a defensive tackle. You're engaging like this very often. You're trying to use your swim move. You're using those pectoral muscles all the time. And so when you tear it, it's a very severe surgery and injury, and it causes you to miss an entire season. For Givens, the magnitude isn't to that level where he's going to be out all year, but he's going to be out probably somewhere close to the regular season, if not going into the regular season. And then Sam Okuwanu, who last year really came out of nowhere as a journeyman, little-known defensive end who can play defensive tackle, played very well. He's going to miss a couple of weeks with a groin injury. The Niners have some depth issues on their team. As far as their starting lineup goes, I like where they're at. And if they're able to stay healthy, I think that they can be a playoff team, prime contender in the NFC, and reverse that record from last year when they went 6-11. And I predicted the Niners would go 11-6. But injuries continue to be a problem in this Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch regime. And if they need to tap into their depth, that's when I get concerned about how the Niners are going to be able to hold up throughout the entire duration of a regular season. They were the number one most injured team in the NFL in 2024. And outside of 2023 under Kyle Shanahan, they've been top 10 in injury rate every single year. I would be shocked and stunned if their injury rate repeated itself year over year. That's one of those fluky things that usually isn't a trend to the level of them being the most injured team in the NFL. If that happened, I would be surprised. But if it does happen and they need to go into that depth, it could be a long year, especially defensively for San Francisco. A lot more to get to here on the show, but don't forget to hit that subscribe button here. We are only 85 subscribers away from 164,000 subs here on the channel. If you want Niners news, analysis, reactions, live shows, watch parties, if you want to be a part of the show and have a voice on this program, you do. Just hit that sub button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon too and turn your notifications on. Therefore, anytime we push out a show, anytime we go live, you will be notified. This deal, thanks to the fine folks at Fanatics, is a fantastic one. Say that 10 times fast. A lot of F's there. It was $55, this Niners cutoff hoodie, now on sale for just $33. Head to chatsports.com/49ers cutoff. I'll put that link down below in the show notes and attached to the pinned comment of today's 49ers report. Look good and rep the Niners in the process. So we went through some of the Niners injury news already. Now, let's go through some of the one-on-one battles that really grabbed the headlines today during Niners training camp. And there's a really good development that I want to hit on, and it has to do with Ricky Pearsall. When healthy, Ricky Pearsall has looked like the 49ers' best wide receiver so far in training camp, and today he balled out. Whether it was catching long passes or winning on one-on-ones, nobody could stop him. And the last few days, this is a great sign looking ahead to 2025, the Purdy-Pearsall connection has been heating up. Toward the end of the regular season last year, you really started to see some of the progress that the quarterback-wide receiver tandem was able to make. And today, nobody could clamp Pearsall in one-on-ones. And a big reason for that, and a reason why I'm excited to see what he can do in his sophomore campaign, the Niners drafted him after they struggled to beat press man in the Super Bowl against Kansas City. Part of the reason they took Pearsall, he's good at beating man. and press. He has burst, twitch, footwork, short area wiggle and quickness, and really good route running that allows him to win in 11-on-11s, but also makes him hard to stop in one-on-ones. A productive and healthy Pearsall would be huge for 2025, but also into the future for this Niners offense. This challenge Kyle Shanahan regime has missed and whiffed on so many first-round picks. If they hit on Pearsall, he ends up being a really good player. He gets to play alongside Brock Purdy. That connection's already been a good one. He can be a building block for this offense, and he's a cost-controlled asset over the next few years. Hopefully, Pearsall can stay healthy. If he can, I think he has a breakout year this season, and so far, so good. When he's been practicing, he's been very, very impressive. Other training camp highlights for the Niners today. Pearsall catching a 50-yard bomb from Mac Jones. The QB2 for San Francisco continues to have a good camp. Then there was a really good back and forth between Ricky Pearsall going up against Upton Stout. Upton Stout, I think, has this nickel corner roll locked down. 4.4 speed, really sticky coverage. He's feisty, strong hands, really good ball skills, good against the run, plays a lot bigger than his size. Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh have been very complimentary of him. And so Stout had a pass breakup on a Purdy to Pearsall attempt. Pearsall did beat him a time or two, but what a good battle that was. And then speaking of the rookie in Stout, he had a really good run stop against Patrick Taylor. When he was at Western Kentucky, he was really good against the run. And from that nickel roll, you need to be a good tackler. You need to be good against the run. And Upton Stout has been and was at the college level. The new QB3 for San Francisco is Carter Bradley, the son of Gus Bradley, who's the associate head coach for San Francisco. The Niners today released Tanner Mordecai, who didn't really get better from year one to year two. Kyle Shanahan said Bradley's tryout and workout last week was so impressive that the Niners needed to sign him. And the highlight play for him today, he hit Tariq Owens, the son of Terrell Owens, on a long touchdown to round out practice. And then Bradley and Nye, who the Cowboys used a fifth-round pick on in 2020, he didn't really work out for Dallas, but at the UFL level, he was one of the best pass rushers. He had 3 would-be sacks today. An intriguing option at that pass rusher spot for San Francisco. Don't forget to give me a follow on X and Instagram. In addition to always talking Niners here, I'm covering the Niners over there as well, reaching millions of people on my X and IG pages. The handle is the same because I made it easy for all of you. It's at Chase_Senior. Don't be afraid to say what's up.